In a few minutes, we're putting this 10 kilowatt diesel hydronic heater made by HLN to the ultimate test. What if I told you this steel-bodied heat exchanger unit could actually outperform my most efficient aluminum-bodied diesel heater? Stick around. That's next. Let me walk you through the setup. I have the 10 kilowatt heater mounted to a bench up here with the intake muffler and the exhaust. And I have 5 gallons of cool water below. Up here I have a scale with a flask full of diesel fuel. Turn the heater on, let it fire up and go through its pre-checks. Once it starts drawing fuel in and I hear the pump ticking, I will start a timer. I will measure the fuel with a scale. I will measure the temperature of the water. And then at the end of the test, once the desired temperature has been reached, I will do the same thing. I'm very excited about this one. For those of you that watch the videos, I'll put a link up above. I'm not a big fan of steel as a heat exchanger material, and the other steel liquid heaters did not perform well. But this heater being so well made and being so massive and heavy, this small 10 kilowatt weighs more than a 30 kilowatt. I have hope. I have hope. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna turn it on now. The controller is actually pretty cool. You've got just a simple on-off button. You've got the back button and a display showing the day. I believe if I hold this back button down, it enters the advanced display where I can set the time. I can set an alarm clock, a timer for when I want it to come on during a calendar, and then settings. That's a fast prime if you want to prime the pump. And Wi-Fi. We're going to play with this later. I need to connect this to Wi-Fi, download the app, and try to get it to work. If I press and hold the center button down, it shows me voltage, 12.4 volts. I have an error code where I can check for errors. No errors at the moment. And if I press this button, this turns the unit on. Oh. Spilling water everywhere. I gotta get a zip tie. As these hoses get warm and compliant, they tend to want to move around, so you have to kind of lock them into place. 16.5. I think this unit's going to be pretty powerful. It seems to be heating up quite quickly. The 5 kilowatt version from this manufacturer was rated at 5. We got 4.6 kilowatts out of it. So if we can get anywhere near 10, I'd be a winner in my book. The heater uses the My Smart Life app. It's kind of cool. It's really bare bones. It just allows you to turn the heater on and off via your Wi-Fi, which is nice because if you're away, you can, oh, I left the heater on, you can turn it on, turn it off. You can set timers to turn on and off at a certain time of day or date. Under the settings, it gives you some device information. And then on the other side, you have a function name and it says voltage setting. So it allows you to adjust the low voltage cutoff. Right now it's set for 8 volts. So if you had a lead acid battery situation, you would not want to completely deplete your battery. If this detects 8 volts, it will turn off. 30 degrees C here on the body. 97 degrees C toward the heat exchanger. 30 in the back. Exhaust over 100. $38 degrees C. Definitely cruising right along here. 55. The heat exchanger seems to run, the exterior of the heat exchanger seems to run about 1 degree above the water temperature, and that's about right. So it's about 1 degree hotter here than the water. 62. I bet this unit stops at 70. Oh, we're ramping down. This one stops at 65. I'm gonna go ahead and call it at 65. That's 65. 672.9. That was interesting. This unit doesn't seem to go to 70. Well, it seems to ramp down at 65. So at 65 degrees C, it starts ramping down and idling, and the water is now 67 degrees C. I had to sit down for these test results. Let's go over the numbers together because I was quite surprised. We heated 5 gallons of water, just like always, from 16.5 degrees Celsius to 65 degrees Celsius. That's when I stopped the test, in 8 minutes and 37 seconds. And we consumed 127.8 grams of diesel fuel to do it. Plugging those numbers in, we get an efficiency rating of 67.1% and a kilowatt output of 7.43 kilowatts out. That's equivalent to 25,000 BTU. Let me be clear on this. The only time I've ever seen these numbers of 67% was with an aluminum bodied heat exchanger and using the exhaust gas recirculator, the EGR, the exhaust gas cooler from a Ford truck. So I'm blown away that this thing is so efficient out of the box, being a steel body construction. That floors me. That just lends credence to the design and the sheer weight of this unit. It is a chonky unit. Kind of like Tater here. Tater's chonky. It's 100 pounds of dog. You gonna sit down? Come on. You can't sit down? Is it steps too big for you? Come here, sit down. Wrapping that test up, I'm floored. We've tested a lot of hydronic diesel heaters on this channel, from some that are not so good to some that are very good. The steel-bodied 30 kilowatt monster here produced only 7.4 kilowatts out and an efficiency of 32% at the most. That's unmodified. Take this guy, for instance. This is rated at 9 kilowatts. It cost $1,000. It output like 64% average. That's a high average. 64% efficiency with like a 6.7 kilowatts out. And then, and this is aluminum. This steel-bodied unit just blew it out of the water with 67% efficiency. I am floored. It's more than double the efficiency of this. And I can kind of understand why. If you feel the weight of this guy versus this, it actually weighs the same. Believe it or not, this unit and this unit weigh roughly the same. I think it's time we clear the bench, take this guy apart, and see what sort of magic it contains to be so efficient. Is it software? Is it hardware? Let's find out. Much like the 5K version, this is a full-featured heater with lots of accessories. Even this really nice corrugated intake tube, intake silencer, and the display comes packed separately in this nice little bubble wrap housing. The display is quite nice. The buttons are nice and tactile with a nice click on the center knob. Also rotates and clicks. The cabling is second to none with watertight connectors and rash guards throughout. Plus you get all the hose clamps you could shake a stick at. And an English user's manual. And this is the power cord. This has a really heavy duty connector for the power cord, so you can remove the heater for service. I've never seen a connector like that. It's really quite nice. And of course, lots of hose clamps and fuel line and fittings and shrink tubing to install this. A standard style clicker fuel pump. These seem to be quieter than standard, but that's just me. One of the nicest things is that they give you a rash guard for your fuel line. Very nice large diameter exhaust. Not very long, but it gets the job done. And that's what she said. The unit itself, you got the intake and the exhaust coming out the bottom, if you want to call that the bottom. And there you go. I tested for sure. This is magnetic. It is a steel body unit. Aquano 10K, DC 12 volt, heat flow 10K, fuel type diesel, manufactured in 2024, HLN Industries. I'll pull this cover off first, and you just have to appreciate the cleanliness of their wire management. I was really hesitant to take this apart because everything is already so clean. It's like there's no way I'm going to put this back as nice and neat as they have installed it. But it has to be done. There's your temperature sensor. Look at that nice O-ring on that plug. Watertight plug there. Satisfying fit. And the pump is brushless along with the fan motor. Both are brushless. Here's the only negative I found in the entire teardown is that the pump cord goes under that bracket and to this plug, meaning you would have to disassemble the plug and repin it if you wanted to change the pump. That's kind of a pain, but okay, I do see that the routing takes it out of the way, protects it. It's just a cap that holds the control module. And this is the fan assembly. Look at the machining on that. The finish is so nice and tidy. That is the back side of the burn chamber with the swirl plate so that the air enters the burn chamber in a vortices. Notice the green marks all over the nuts and bolts on this as a quality control employee has checked the torque specs of all the nuts and marked them as inspected. I love that. All HLN units have that. Oh, and there's the burn chamber. Or I should say, there's the combustion chamber. That is a long combustion chamber. The length of this combustion chamber and its proximity to the heat exchanger. Just relax and think efficient thoughts. The length of the combustion chamber and the proximity to these fins inside the heat exchanger are part and parcel to why this is so efficient. But what blows me away is just the sheer number. I would say there is 3 times the fins in this 10K as what are in one of my 30K units. And they're shark tooth. They've got grooves cut in them. Very tight fit, very long heat exchanger, a lot of thermal mass in the heat exchanger, and a large amount of fins to get the job done. So there you go. I think we found our answer. Looking at the design of this heat exchanger, the length of the heat exchanger, the sheer mass, the thermal mass of the heat exchanger, along with the large amounts of fins to help transfer the exhaust gas energy to the heat exchanger, plus its close proximity to the actual burn chamber. It's very snug fit, plus the software that automatically adjusts the air-fuel ratio for elevation. I believe all of those components come into play to yield a result like 67% efficient. That is astonishing. And as of the recording of this, middle of May 2025, the Aquano 10K hydronic heater is $699, and I believe that's shipped. So it is cheaper now than this Chinese Webasto clone, and it's more efficient. So as we've come to learn about HLN products, this thing is just built like a tank and exudes quality. And you get the same amount of accessories that you get with the 5K. You get a great wiring harness, You get your fuel line, your rash guards, all your hoses and fittings, your clamps, all that stuff. And if you want to know more about HLN, I covered them in more depth in the 5K review, link up above. But they have offices in the United States. They have service centers in the United States. This comes with an English manual. There's a gentleman named Kevin, who I've got links down below, who will answer all your questions about this. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions about this awesome heater or any of the HLN heaters, drop me a comment below. Email Kevin. Check out the website. I got links to both of them. For full transparency, HLN sent me these heaters to test and review. They did not pay me. They are not paying me. No money exchanged hands, and they don't have any sort of say in what I say. This is my honest review and assessment of these heaters, and I stand by that. So I'm Jason. This is Hanging with Hurst. I'll catch you next time.